In 2022, Riot Games concluded its investigation into long-standing allegations of verbal abuse and bullying by TSM CEO Andy Reginald Din, triggered by former ADC Doublelift's on-stream accusations. The inquiry, spanning interviews with 14 current and former TSM staff and players and review of decade-old footage, found a pattern and practice of disparaging and bullying behavior. Although no unlawful conduct was proven, Riot fined TSM $75,000, or 20% of that split's NA/LCS prize pool, and placed Din on 2 years probation, mandating sensitivity and executive training, as well as an independent reporting system for workplace misconduct. During probation, any further violations would trigger severe sanctions within the Riot ecosystem. TSM also conducted its own internal review, which cleared Din of illegal activity but prompted him to acknowledge his too harsh language. This landmark ruling underscored Riot's commitment to player welfare and set an industry precedent. Even top-tier esports executives must adhere to standards of respect and professionalism. In late 2019, KT Rolster's star bot laner Kim Aiming Ha Ram admitted to a romantic relationship with a 15-year-old fan, sparking widespread outrage across the league community. Aiming publicly apologized for not considering feelings, but notably failed to address the significant age difference, deepening fan criticism. His actions mirrored a troubling trend of pros exploiting their influence, following high-profile cases like Overwatch's Dreamcast pair in 2018. The scandal overshadowed KT Rolster's 2020 roster-building efforts, prompting organizational silence and leaving fans demanding accountability. Aiming's confession led Afrika Freaks, his former team, to suspend him for the remainder of the split, mandating community service and sensitivity training before reinstatement. Riot's player welfare guidelines classify relationships with minors as a severe violation, risking indefinite bans under its global penalty index. Though Aiming continued competing, the incident permanently marred his reputation and reignited debates over ethical conduct and power dynamics in esports. In 2021, CLG posted a short video featuring a Bud Light cooldown sponsor. In this authentic moment, it highlighted that there has not been much progress in the 2 months and is looking for roster swaps, and it would be the last time this roster would be playing together. After dropping this bomb, a Bud Light sponsor would immediately show on screen, really capturing this authentic moment shared between GM and players. At the end of the video, we would once again see the Bud Light sponsor come up after the GM wrapped up, saying that he wanted to give a heads up to all the players about what was coming, but saw them all as brothers. This sparked major public outrage, commenting how the organization would put something so vulnerable out there whilst also trying to fit in a sponsorship segment. This post would later be taken down by CLG after much criticism online. In July 2013, Dmitri, the co-founder and former owner of Moscow 5, was arrested in a global FBI operation for orchestrating one of the largest hacking and data breach schemes ever prosecuted in the United States. Over 7 years, Smilyanets and his network infiltrated major corporate systems, stealing and trading over 160 million stolen credit and debit card numbers, netting hundreds of millions of dollars. Charged with computer hacking conspiracy and wire fraud, he was among 5 Russian and Ukrainian defendants indicted in New Jersey federal court. In September 2015, Smilyanets pleaded guilty to his role in the black market ring, receiving a 4-year, 2-month prison sentence in 2017 after cooperating with prosecutors. His conviction forced Moscow 5's esports teams to disband. Its storied League of Legends and Dota 2 squads reformed under new banners, and underscored the stark contrast between the organization's competitive triumphs and its founder's criminal downfall. Jeong Dopa Sangil was once hailed as the greatest solo queue mid laner in league history, mastering macro-heavy champions like Twisted Fate, Orianna, and Victor to repeatedly top both the Korean and Chinese challenger ladders. However, in September 2014, Riot Korea permanently banned his primary account for 1,000 years, alongside a 2-year competitive suspension, after finding him guilty of providing paid elo-boosting services, a violation of South Korea's Game Industry Promotion Act, prohibiting account-leveling services. Over Season 3's final day, Dopa infamously threw matches to ensure Faker retained rank 1, claiming only mid-laners deserved the top spot. Despite his ban, Dopa continued streaming on Smurf accounts, achieving Challenger again in China within weeks, for a reported $162,000 prize. His ban from all Riot-sanctioned competition lasted through February 2016, effectively ending any pro play aspirations. Dopa's 1,000-year punishment remains the longest in league history and underscores South Korea's stringent stance on boosting to protect competitive integrity. Riot's Oceania division faced intense scrutiny in early 2017 after a group of 13 OPL players for the team Tainted Mines walked out of their decrepit gaming house, a sweltering, mold-ridden shack with frequent power failures, broken air conditioning, and insufficient food, despite contracts promising high-end PCs, covered expenses, and proper housing. Repeated complaints to Tainted Mines management went unaddressed. When the players escalated grievances to Riot OCE's Daniel Ringland, a close friend of the org's investor, promised mediations were scheduled and then repeatedly canceled, revealing a clear conflict of interest. Frustrated, Tristan Cake Côte la Lumière published a detailed Google document outlining late payments, unplayable PCs, and health-threatening heat, sparking community outrage and calls for reform. Players found themselves contract-locked, unable to join new teams, and missing potential LCS offers while living under exploitative conditions. Riot's final ruling fined Tainted Mines a mere 5,300 AUD and imposed 6-month probation for breach of contract, late payments, and hardware failures, a penalty widely derided as disproportionately lenient given the severity of abuse. This scandal laid bare the systemic failures in Oceania, esports governance, and underscored the need for transparent, enforceable player welfare policies. In late 2022, emerging North American ADC Kyle Danny Sakamaki took a leave from Evil Geniuses, citing mental health struggles, but soon reports surfaced alleging inadequate support and poor living conditions from EG leadership. Internal screenshots shared by analyst Kadrill suggested EG failed to accommodate Danny's autism diagnosis and mounting stress, prompting Riot to enlist a third-party firm to investigate. Despite his withdrawal, EG signed veteran FBI as his replacement and moved Danny to a streaming role, actions perceived as prioritizing brand stability over player welfare. Danny later clarified that his departure was voluntary and that EG supported me all the way, but no concrete changes to team structure or mental health resources have been announced. Riot's ongoing probe underlines the league's zero-tolerance policy for player mistreatment, echoing past rulings against bullying and misconduct. As fans await the investigation's conclusion, Danny's situation has sparked industry-wide calls for transparent player welfare standards and independent oversight in esports.